Welcome to our last skill building video. This is our fifth in our series, and it is going to cover what I think is the most powerful tool in Adobe Illustrator, and that's the pen tool. And we're really just going to be focusing on this today, so buckle up everybody. By now, you've learned that Adobe Illustrator and all the things you create in it are a collection of paths and shapes. And we've been primarily using the set shapes that they give us and making some more fun shapes using the Pathfinder. But what if you're trying to create a shape that does not exist here or doesn't look like any combination of these? That is where the pen tool kicks in. The pen tool is going to allow you to create very complex shapes, and it's going to give you a lot more precision than the pencil tool, which some of you might have. I'm first going to use the pen tool to show you how to create the shapes we've already learned how to create, and then go over some patterns of lines that we notice in line work on Adobe Illustrator. And last but not least, I'm going to introduce you to your assignment for this skill building exercise. So first off, let's take a look at this first artboard, which has a square, a circle, and a triangle. Now normally we would use these preset shape buttons to create any of these, but I want to quickly show how you can actually use the pen tool to also create these. First, to give you an awareness of how this is set up, just like our layers in collage, we have this layer that's locked in red, and that's all of these line drawings, as well as this photo of these shapes. We're going to be working only in this layer above it, in this case it's layer 1. So all the shapes and our paths in Adobe Illustrator are a collection of points and then line segments that connects those points. So to create this square, this is pretty easy. We're going to take our pen tool for P, we're going to hover over each of the points that we see, and every time you click, so all of our paths and shapes in Adobe Illustrator are a collection of points and line segments that connect those points. I'm going to start by creating a square by starting in the top left corner and clicking to start this shape. So there we go, there's my anchor point. And then I'm not clicking anything, I'm just moving my mouse over to this next point. All right, so unlike other tools like the brush tool or the pen tool you might have played with, rather than clicking and dragging, you just click one point here, and then once you reach to the end of this line segment, you're going to click again to create your second point. And now, from here to here, you have this black stroke that's connecting those 2 points. And I'm going to do this again, and I'm going to bring my pen tool down here to the third point and draw there. I'm going to continue that to this fourth point. And now I'm going to loop back to the beginning. And once I hover over the original point, this anchor that I've created, you'll see that there's a little icon, a little circle that shows up to the bottom right of the pen tool. And that means close path. And so once you do that, now this path is one complete shape, and I can click in and drag it around. All right, so that's our square. This triangle is going to follow that same path, and you'll notice that this process of using the pen tool is actually going to be easier than trying to use this polygon tool and figure out the radius and the width and all that stuff. So here I can just take my pen tool, same thing, and you'll notice in the bottom right of my pen tool I get this asterisk that's asking me to set my anchor, or the first point in this path. I'm just going to go around the triangle, and voila, that's pretty easy. And now here is where we get to the hard part. This is when we start introducing curves to our formula of points and line segments. In order to create a curve using the pen tool, you need to click and drag to change the angle of your line segment. The more you drag, the more severe this curve becomes. And the less you drag, the closer it is to it just staying on whatever path it's on. And when you click and drag a line segment, it carries momentum. So here I've clicked and dragged in a big way. You can kind of see these two handles that are really, really large. And now, when I'm hovering over to see where my next point is, this big handle is kind of affecting how wide or how narrow my next point is going to be. To start this circle, I'm going to click at the very top, and I'm not just going to click, but I'm actually going to click and drag. And I'm going to go about this length. All right, so I'm going to go about a little less than half the way between this point here and the right edge over here. I'm going to go there. And now you'll see when I'm about to set my next point, this path now has a little bit of curve. It's not just a straight path. I'm going to bring it to the far right of my circle, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to click and drag. And I'm always dragging in the direction that I want my path to go. So I'm not dragging backwards this way because now this path kind of gets all twisted. I'm going to go forward or down. And I'm going to try to drag this handle to match the gray path that's beneath it, like so. And now, that's looking pretty good. That's following the path of this circle. And I'm going to do the same thing down here, clicking and dragging, trying to match the curve, like so. I'm going to try that one more time here. And now to wrap it up, again we have my pen tool with that little circle to mean close. And if you click and drag it on the close, now we can finish up the circle and make sure that it is one nice complete shape. What do you think? That's not bad. It's a pretty clean circle compared to the original. So that's a quick intro as to how to get the pen tool to make these simple shapes that we all know and love. This is the first part of this pen tool exercise, so I would now save your document. It's currently the setup file that you're all using, but make sure you put your name. I'm not going to do that because I'm going to continue working from this. But you get the idea.